In this video, we're going to talk about unassigning Doordash orders because there's many questions out there of even knowing when to unassign from a Doordash order, how to unassign from a Doordash order without penalty, and many more questions which are still to come. So hold tight and let's get started. How many times have you been just sitting there right there in that restaurant thinking to yourself, why in the world did I just accept this order? And it could be for various reasons. Where there's like, man, I know it just because this restaurant is notoriously slow. They get orders wrong anyways, but the money seems so good. But I still took it. And I'm sure you've been there because I know I have on many occasions. And what I generally do, I keep on checking that time. Like, what time was this actually supposed to be done? And then if it's past that time, then I'll be like, okay, maybe I can wait just another few more minutes, but I'm still going to be checking to see if I can get worry-free unassigned. Unless it just seems so hopeless, like I'm just like, you know what? I'm about to bail. I'm going to go right now. I don't care if it goes against me or not. This even happened on my last dash as well. I was thinking, man, I'm probably going to have to wait at least 10 minutes after the actual promise time, because sometimes it can be of a little bit of a wait. Fortunately, I know this last time it didn't take that long. It was actually 7 minutes after the actual promise time. And I was like, ooh, praise the Lord, keep on going. Because there was no way I was going to wait any longer for that. But some of the things that raised that red flag, I was actually sitting there at Jersey Mike's, and I saw this guy, he was just making sandwiches. He made a ton of sandwiches. And I was like, okay, none of these are my order. Then I overheard someone else talking about their order, and it looked like she was going to be picking up all those sandwiches. Then another employee stated how they've had some really big orders and how they've been backed up pretty much for like an hour at least. So that really got my ears perked up. So it's always good, make sure you're paying attention and listening on the things around you, so you can try to figure out, should I unassign from this order or not? And after I still saw that main person up there still making just sandwiches, and yeah, they were bagging some things, but I knew it wasn't mine. I've already said something in the very beginning, and they said it'll be just a few minutes. But a few minutes took a little bit longer than that. And this was only like I can't really remember completely, like a $5-6 order going just for some short, maybe 2 or 3 miles. So it wasn't too terrible, but it was a little slow anyways. But I was like, you know what? I still think I can get a better order than this. So I tapped those 3 little lines on the top, and I was ready to unassign. And by the time I checked it, I got a worry-free unassign, which was great. And now when you do go to unassign from an order, and you choose if it's store related or not, because there's been times where I had to hit this button where it shows the store is closed or cannot find the store, because technically I have a Burger King in my area that's actually down over here, but it actually pings 3.5 miles down the street this way in a completely different direction. But the thing is, if I never actually knew about that, and I actually really thought that there was a store out there, if I wasn't really familiar with my market area, I would definitely have to hit can't find store and just follow the prompt, which also leads you to take a picture of the area. Now, I've had to do this on a couple different occasions. Generally, when it's store related, I've always gotten like the worry-free unassigned. But when it's like the order has a long wait time, that's where there could be shades of gray. Now, just like in my example where I was at Jersey Mike's over here, the algorithm will pick up and know that, hey, you have been there for a little bit. And now I'm starting to get these little small Doordash messages within the message looks like where it's between me and the customer, and it's prompted me to actually give like a little small description of like what's going on. And I pretty much just typed to the customer that when I arrived here at the restaurant, they have not made the order yet, but hopefully it's going to be soon. And that's actually what I typed. But after that few minutes later, I knew it was time for me to go, because I'm in this thing to make money. Now, let's say if that was not going to give me a worry-free unassigned, since I knew I was 7 minutes outside of that, I was thinking about, okay, I'm probably going to just wait 2 or 3 minutes and see if I get that worry-free unassigned. Granted, I actually have a high rating with a 99% completion rating, which is really good I'm trying to keep this metrics high because there's going to be some situations that I really know I'm going to have to unassign for. The biggest danger is at 90%. So if you're around that 90%, you better not fall under that, or you're really going to be looked at of being deactivated from the Doordash platform completely. Now, I believe the lowest my completion rate has ever been is, I think, probably 95%. As I was right there in that range of like 96, 95. I'm just like, I can't go below that because I'm going to lose platinum if I do. And a good question is, how do you get that completion rating up? Is you're going to have to do 100 deliveries from that last time that you unassigned from an order. So you just pretty much got to just keep on dashing until it's gone. And you might be asking, is it actually better to unassign from an order than declining a Doordash order? If I know it's not going to be a good setup, I'm just going to just not even take it from the very beginning. Now you got to think about, well, how long should I actually wait for an actual order? Well, it's really going to depend on how much are you getting paid. Because if I have one of these catering orders and it's going to be, they say it's going to be 20, 30 minutes. But hey, if I'm already getting paid 20, 30 plus dollars, I'm going to stay there. I pretty much just average it out of like, is it going to pay me for my time to wait or is it not? Because just like the other day when I received a catering order, it said $12 for 9 miles. I was like, ugh, I didn't really want to do the mileage. And there was no plus on this. So if I would have had to wait 30 minutes or more, I'd be like, oh, this wouldn't have been worth it. I was like, I'm not even going to take that to begin with. Unless it's going to send me to a place where where it makes sense, where I have some more opportunities to pick up good orders. Altogether, it's really like a juggling and balancing act. What is it worth of your time? If you're trying to have a goal of $10 an hour, you just might as well get out of the game. You need to at least have a goal of $20 an hour. That's my personal goal. I don't always get to my personal goal, but it's always my goal. Have a goal in mind. Yeah, I might slip down $19, $18, $17-ish an hour. It happens. Sometimes it's worse, depending on what day it is and what's all happened on that shift, because there are a lot of unexpected things that happen and it's out of our control. Now let's say that you do what you always do and you ask the employee of the restaurant, how long is the order going to be? Most of the time it's pretty accurate and sometimes it's even quicker, but you got those few where they might say 3 or 5 minutes and it's really 10 to 15. That's why it's so important to keep track of your time. Because I know there's been times where I might be like on my phone for a minute and be like, wait a minute, where's the time gone? How long have I been here? So be sure and track your time, because 5 minutes can turn to 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So pay attention. And if you do go back up there and say, hey, it's been about 5 minutes, everything all right? And they might say it might be another 5 minutes. All right. There might be some red flags there. What is good with some of these restaurants, you can actually see like in the kitchen area of them preparing the orders. And if they do go back, you can kind of see the employee going back to a certain area. And if you see the person's order way back in the back part instead of more up front where it needs to be, you know you're probably in trouble and you need to unassign. And one of those perfect places I'm talking about, I'm thinking about, are some of these sandwich places, Wingstop, at least in my area, the way it's laid out. And there's been other places like that as well, where I can pretty much see the order of where it's at. And some places even have like the names on the screen, like a Pizza Hut or something, and show you how long the order is actually going to be ready. So that can be helpful as well. But if you ever do come across where you just see it's also just flat out busy and you check on that time, sometimes they will be up front with you and they say it's going to be about 15, 20 minutes. Okay, you can unassign unless it's just that great of an order that's worth waiting for. Now let's talk about red flag customers. Red flag customers are those type of customers, like especially when it comes to like a shop and deliver, where they're almost like messaging you as soon as you get there, and they're actually kind of micromanaging every little thing. They're like, oh my gosh, this is somebody you might want to stay away from, because any little thing that didn't go their way, they might give you that 1 star, want to report you or anything. So just listen to your gut. If you feel like you might need to unassign, do it. And here's another thing, canceling your order to maintain and acceptance rating. I know some people who have done this. I've done something similar to that myself, because when orders like this did not just make sense when you have like an order, someone ordered at McDonald's that's 15 miles back, and you know there's about 5 or 6 other McDonald's all the way around. I actually called DoorDash and say, hey, what is up? But they just gave me some bull crap answers, and it didn't even help whatsoever, and I got unassigned from the order. Because I told them, this is like what is like destroying my acceptance rating. This happens every day. Even dashing today, I saw like 3 of these type of orders. I'm just like, seriously? But there's nothing much you can do. Overall, if you're going to unassign from an order, make sure it's all for good reason, because you don't want to even be close to that 90% where you can be deactivated, because it's just not worth it. But until then, hope you got some value out of this video. If you could, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and see me in the next video.